Jess, thank you so much for joining us here at the Baby Show live at home. I know you're a busy mum, but of course we wanted you to join us today. We're going to chat a little more about your app shortly, your fitness app. But for now, I'm fascinated how you've gone from such an amazing career as an elite athlete to becoming a mummy. Tell me, how was that for you, from that massive career to being at home raising the children?
It was just amazing, in all honesty. I had such a fantastic career and, had so many great years. Although sport has many highs and lows, I felt that I really came away from my career, on a real high and very fortunate and really proud of what I'd achieved throughout the whole of that journey. And then to, have the opportunity to then start a family, it was always something that I think most women worry about, will I be able to have a baby? Is it all going to go the way I have it planned in my head? And having my son and then being able to go back to competing and then having my daughter was just incredible. I feel so fortunate to have, two amazing children in my life.
Yeah, but obviously with your career, so you've always had to be so disciplined and everything's been all in order and, to be able to achieve what you've achieved. But with babies and children, they don't always stick to the plan. How have you coped with that to be a bit more relaxed and go with the flow?
Yeah, I think in all honesty, that has been my biggest test and my biggest challenge, because like you say, when you're a sports person, your life is very structured, it's very organized, every day is very similar and you're always working towards a plan and you can control quite a lot of your environment and how you prepare and how you enter competitions. And then when your baby comes along, obviously it's just a complete whirlwind, like every new mum knows and every new dad, that you can't control everything and that, sometimes your baby's just awake all night or they'll be awake for 2 hours randomly in the night and you kind of trying to think of all the logical reasons why they might be awake, and I found myself like going through a tick list just thinking, right, I've tried that, I wore those pajamas last night, so I'll wear those ones again. All these reasons to try and help work out why my baby wasn't sleeping. And in actual fact, that's babies, isn't it? They don't have a set routine when they're little and they are unpredictable, and so many things change from a day-to-day basis because they're developing and growing so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely the biggest challenge, kind of being able to just sit back and think, okay, I'm not fully in control here and I have to go with what my baby's doing.
Of course. And what I think is amazing and really inspiring is after you had Reggie, you went back and won another gold medal. Talk us through that, how you were able to juggle that and make that happen.
Yeah, again, I would say that was the biggest challenge of my career and probably my life so far. Having that opportunity where I set in my mind that I wanted to come back to competing and training for 2 more years. So it was relatively short term, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. And obviously not being a mother before, I had no idea how challenging it would be from a physical perspective. My body had changed so much. And then from a mental perspective, how I felt, you have that mum guilt. I never wanted to leave him. I was questioning everything I was doing. And, it was definitely the hardest challenge that I had to that point. But in actual fact, it was the most amazing time as well. It was the best decision I made. It was tough, but I was able to, to step back into training and, like you say, to win another world championship gold and a silver in Rio. And the nicest thing about part of that whole journey was that, Reggie was there, coming to every training session, and, he saw mummy win those medals. So it was a really rewarding time of my life.
And I think it's quite nice to prove to yourself, even though I'm a mum, I can still do these things. And I think it's for like a lot of mums out there that might be watching. I think you can all lose your confidence a bit when you become a mum, but and you've got to remember who you were and still have those challenges. And I think you certainly did that with Reggie. Fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely would have to agree though. I still had those moments where, like you say, you doubt yourself, and your confidence does drop massively because you've changed so much as a person. And although I was always trying to compare myself to the athlete that I was before, my coach would almost say to me, you're a different person, you've changed, and we have to compare yourself to the new Jess. And that can be quite hard to kind of get to grips with when you're a new mum. But I think it's really, really important to recognise that every woman struggles at some stage, and confidence is a really key part and a key thing that you need to find once you've had your child.
I agree. And something else I'm sure you get asked so much, Jess, is of course our body's changing so much to grow these beautiful babies, and you've got like the best abs I've ever seen. How did you cope with letting your body change and do what it had to do to grow life?
Do you know what? I absolutely loved it. And so many people said to me, oh, but your six pack, how are you going to feel when it's not there anymore? And actually, I just found it the most amazing thing that my body could go from being so like muscular, so like highly tuned and fine tuned to compete the way I did, to then grow this amazing baby, my baby, and for my stomach to be getting bigger and bigger, and for me not to be able to reach my toes and all those normal things that every pregnant woman experiences. I just thought it was absolutely incredible, and I was just kind of like blown away and fascinated by the whole journey, and I loved being pregnant. I really enjoyed it.
Was your pregnancies very different with the two children?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say with Reggie, I felt, I continued exercising and keeping some level of fitness, as I did with Liv. But I felt with Reggie, I didn't really have many pregnancy symptoms. And, I was always like at the beginning, always saying to myself, am I actually pregnant? Because I feel completely normal. And then with Liv, I was the complete opposite. I felt sick, I felt tired, I had headaches, all those normal pregnancy symptoms. So yeah, the two pregnancies were very different.
Yeah, I think they can be, and you can sort of be different shape and everything, can't you? Carry them so differently.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if there's something in gender differences, but I definitely felt it more with my daughter, definitely.
Yeah. So have you got lots of new mums or mums to be watching? Have you got any sort of bit of advice for them, perhaps about the pregnancy or the birth itself?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much advice that we can give, and you truly are never fully prepared, and you don't know what's going to happen until, you enter it yourself. And I think my biggest advice would be, have your own journey, take as much advice and expertise from as many people as possible, but, have your own journey planned and do what's right for you. And, just know that your body's not been there before, particularly with labour, and that, getting yourself into a great position fitness wise and being as strong as you can only be a massive benefit to help you through labour. And I definitely found that with both pregnancies. And I think just enjoying those moments, because I sit here now, my children are 5 and 2, and, we aren't planning any more children. And I kind of look at those pregnancy pictures and I feel all kind of like emotional. So yeah, really cherish those moments, because they do absolutely fly by so quickly.
Yeah, would you say that what's harder? I don't know how you can compare, but what's harder, being an Olympic athlete or a mum?
Oh, definitely a mum. I think being an Olympic athlete and training for all those years, I mean, it's stressful, it's hard, it's emotional, and it's tough in every possible way. But being a mum brings so many different dimensions. I think you're just consumed with I am always consumed with worry of, are they okay? Are they happy? Are they healthy? Or do they feel loved? Have they got everything they need? You just always have that constant worry as a mum. And you never really appreciate what your mum went through until you're a mother yourself. And I think, there's so many kind of ups and downs with being a mum. And I think it's definitely more challenging being a mum, an Olympic athlete. And I have so much respect to every mother out there that does an incredible job of raising their children.
Me too. And you just don't know what it feels like, that unconditional love, until you've got your own children, do you? It's quite overwhelming.
Yeah, it is. And you can't really describe it. And you have those days where everything goes wrong and you can't control anything, and you feel that everything's crumbling and falling apart. And then you have other days where you're just absolutely elated, your children are on their best behavior, everything's falling into place, and yeah, those moments where you just feel, yeah, like you're on top of the world.
Yeah, you're like super mum.
Yeah.
So so moving on now, you've been up to some really fabulous things. Tell me a little bit more about this amazing fitness app that you've developed.
Yeah, so it was something that I developed off the back of my pregnancies, really. So I wanted to create something whereby women could feel confident exercising during their pregnancy, postnatally, and then finding their fitness level back to wherever they were before they got pregnant. And I had a fantastic team of people around me, a great physio, coach, and so much great support that I felt that I wanted to kind of put that into one place for as many women to kind of draw on and take confidence from exercising safely during pregnancy, and just feeling really like empowered and confident during their pregnancy and beyond. So yeah, it's been a fantastic journey, you know, creating the app Jenice, and there's so much going on behind the scenes, and it's evolving and becoming something incredible. So I'm very excited about it.
What would you say to mums that have not really done any fitness? Obviously you've got your fitness background, but if there's mums that really haven't done a lot of exercise but feel like they should, would your app be something that would be good for them?
Yeah, I think we try to make it to suit as many people as possible, and I think it's about having that journey. And whether you're someone that didn't exercise a lot during, you know, before you got pregnant, then there's a level that you can come in at and feel comfortable and safe exercising. And I think all the health benefits of, you know, exercising during your pregnancy to help labour, to help release pregnancy symptoms, all these different benefits are just so amazing. Gone are the days where we're kind of told to, you know, sit down and rest and just, you know, wait for the baby to arrive. It's about being active, it's a bit about being confident and knowing the right exercises to do, and more importantly, those right exercises to do once your baby arrives as well, so you know you don't go on to have any long-term issues or any problems post-birth. So there's just so many important points of, you know, exercising through this really, really important phase of your life.
Yeah, because obviously we don't all have a lot of time either, as you know. It's so busy being a mum. I'm guessing your app is really suited to those 10 minutes and those 15-minute moments that you might have.
Yeah, absolutely. The fitness section is very much, you know, 15, 10-minute sessions, 20-minute sessions, 30 minutes maximum, because they're the sessions that I do now. You know, I don't have an hour to go on a long run or do an hour of circuits. It's about, you know, squeezing it in when the kids have just gone to bed, or, you know, at lunchtime when they're busy eating and occupied, and I can just sneak into another room and do some circuits. But yeah, very much about just squeezing it into a really short amount of time, but just being able to exercise in a really efficient way.
So can we find the app in the usual ways?
Yeah,
the App Store.
Yeah, you can find it in the App Store.
And it's called Jenice, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the Jenice Fitness app. Well, I had a little peep and I absolutely love it. So I think it's brilliant. And I really encourage all our lovely mums-to-be and mums to take a look at that. I think it's very inspiring, and it's a really nice, safe way to be doing something for yourselves as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
looking after you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really important point. It's about, you know, when we're all consumed with making sure that we are doing the best for our children, which is the most important thing, we often forget about ourselves and having that time to switch off in our own headspace. And ultimately, that's great for our children. You know, it's great if we're happy and we're allowed time to kind of switch off. So yeah, I think that's a really, really important part as well.
Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Thank you for joining us at the Baby Show Live at Home. And you need to make us a promise that you'll come along to the actual show when we're up and running again.
I will. Thank you so much for having me. And I will definitely come when everything is back to normal. I would love to come to the actual show. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll look after your lovely family, your lovely children, and you take good care.
I will do. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, Jess. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.